Today is Saturday, March 7th, 2026, and today is National Flapjack Day, which feels like proof that even the simplest things can be improved with the right structure. Welcome to This Day in History from Wait, That's Random. I'm your host, C.L. Burns. On this date in 1912, Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen publicly announced that his expedition had reached the South Pole. At the time, the South Pole was one of the last truly unknown locations on Earth. Navigation was difficult. Temperatures could drop below negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The terrain was vast, flat, and disorienting. Amundsen succeeded not because he was lucky, but because he understood systems. He used sled dogs instead of relying solely on human strength. Dogs could travel further with less energy expenditure. He established supply depots along the route in advance. This created predictable supply points. He studied clothing used by Arctic indigenous populations. Layered fur trapped warm air while allowing moisture to escape. He didn't fight the environment, he adapted to it. The success wasn't just exploration, it was preparation. Which brings us to another moment when humans stopped relying on forward motion alone. In 1936, one of the first helicopters demonstrated sustained controlled flight long enough to prove practical use. Airplanes required forward motion to generate lift. Their wings push air downward as they move forward. Helicopters work differently. Their rotating blades act like spinning wings. Each blade continuously moves forward through the air. This generates lift without requiring forward movement of the entire aircraft. It allowed something entirely new: hovering, remaining stationary in midair. Movement became independent of forward momentum. Position could be maintained precisely. Which brings us to a moment when movement itself became virtual. On March 7, 1994, the television show ReBoot premiered. It was the first full-length television series created entirely with computer-generated imagery. Instead of physical sets or filmed actors, everything existed inside a computer. Characters were mathematical models. Their shapes were defined by coordinate points in digital space. Movement was created by adjusting those coordinates frame by frame. Light, shadow, and texture were calculated using algorithms. Nothing physically moved, but the result appeared alive. It demonstrated that environments could exist entirely as information. Each of these moments expanded what location meant. Not just moving across the surface of the Earth, but hovering above it, and eventually existing entirely outside physical space. Anyway, those are the things we ended up discovering today. Stop by tomorrow and we'll see what the voices have to say. If you want to know more about me or the work I do, you can find everything at waitthat'srandom.com. I'm C.L. Burns, and I appreciate you stopping by.